Or you don't worry, Twitch streams are your best friend. You can learn a lot from those. Hey guys, I'm Chet, coach of OpTic Gaming, and recently winner of a VCT Masters Reykjavik. I don't know if I'd necessarily say we're the best Valorant team in the world, but I guess currently right now, you can say that. I mean, feels good. We just grinded through every lower bracket of that tournament and made it out, and we had a lot of disadvantages in that final. So at least proves that now we're at least championship caliber status at least, and now going to most tournaments, we're gonna have that like fear factor, which is gonna be nice. Like people are gonna like definitely respect us and study us way more than they used to. I guess some similarity is like just for coaching wise, I try to make it so my players have the least amount of things to worry about. So I try to make sure I have like, in CS I get like the smoke lineups, in this game I get the Sova lineups. Like I'll make sure like, he has not anything to worry about, so that way they can just focus on shooting. And then obviously we already know how to facilitate the conversations between both games when it comes down to it. So all the team environments are pretty much exactly the same, and beyond that, I would say the games are different in a sense where I have to control some of the agent compositions, and we have to have discussions around those. Whereas in CSGO, you just have 5 guys who all have the same utility, so you kind of more so talk about like how you want to play your spots, and there's less variability in CSGO, where in Valorant you have to talk a lot more about protocols and making sure you know how to handle situations where they put utility in one spot, and if there's like a breach, if it's an omen, like you have to kind of figure out how to balance the variability so you can have like successful attacking and defensive halves. Moving from CSGO to Valorant was definitely not a smooth transition. Obviously I got a org and a team right away, and we were in charge of building that team, but honestly I had no clue of the environment Valorant provided for players, and I had no clue how to build a correct team. So we're kind of just going and guessing as like kind of putting CSGO philosophies into that, which didn't really work. So I think it was a huge learning curve at the beginning. A lot of bumps, a lot of bad losses, a lot of roster changes. So it was definitely a low point, I would say, in my career, where I just felt like everything was going wrong, and it took a lot to bounce back from that. Well, I have like 3 teams that I think were hard to prepare for. The first one is the first team we played, Zerzia. I felt like it was pretty hard to anti-strat them. DRX was another one. They just have very good structure, like very good set strats, and we just had to find ways to stop those. And then Loud was obviously the last team we played. That was pretty hard. They just also have, like similar to DRX, just a very solid structure, and even when the strats are coming, they're still extremely hard to stop. And I have to give it, I'm not sure who their IGL was. I think it might be Saucy. His mid-rounding was pretty good in all the series we played in. Like he was good at like faking us out and making us move. Well, I think a coach has to be able to say no. I think a lot of coaches that I've heard in the past kind of develop to be yes men to whoever is their IGL, and I think that's like a big problem, because it's good to have disagreements and making sure like you guys can get on the same page eventually, but without like arguing and like discussing, you're not really going to develop your team any further, because you're kind of, if you all have the same idea, then another team could just catch you off guard because you're just all doing all the same thing, I'll give it to Ye. I think a lot of people would say that. We got a couple jokers in our team. I would say FNS, he's a pretty big jokester. He's always trolling, but he knows when to take it serious. And I would say Victor is like, he's like a, I would say, I don't know how to describe it. He's just funny without trying to be funny. Mr. Grumpy. We don't have too much grumpiness in our team, but maybe Crashies might come off sometimes as a little angry. But he cools it down very fast. Maybe in the beginning not so much, but right now he's been very very good at keeping it level head. I'm pretty good about being on time, but I guess I'll give it to Mr. Diablo again. Well, he has the most offenses, I guess, so far, but it's not that many. Again, I would have to give that one to Mr. Diablo. He has purchased the whole entire store, and it literally says thank you for playing Valorant when he opens his store. So he literally has every skin. I would say my entire team is glued to social media. I'm the only one I think who doesn't really care that much, and I think everyone else just wants to know how many followers and likes and all that stuff. That is probably pretty normal these days, but it ain't for me. I would honestly say none of us know. Sometimes it's just a surprise. Like we come in some days and there's a new news article, and then that's all we got. So I would say we're all pretty uninformed. The messiest I'll have to give to Marv or Victor, maybe both, since they live together when we go to Dallas. And whenever I go to their apartment, it seems pretty dirty, so I'll give it to them. Skillful, again, probably have to give it to Ye. He just is insane and makes these heroic rounds happen for us pretty often, even on eco rounds. The best fashion sense, I'd probably give it to Crashies. I'm not too sure. I'm not a huge guy into that, but I know he has a lot of expensive things, and he has a chain and all that. So I guess I have to say him. The first thing I ever bought was actually my dog for my sister's birthday. She was asking for one for a really long time, and at the time I was in CLG and wasn't making that much, but I was able to save enough through all these events and all that to get her her dream dog. My favorite memory was when we won ESL 1 New York when I was in EG. Just because I live in New York, and it was such a memorable experience. I had some family in the crowd as well, so it just felt really good. That was my first big tier 1 event, and yeah, it felt amazing at the time. A huge crowd, and yeah, I couldn't ask for more. So my superstitions are usually if I wore a pair of pants the day before and we won, I'm gonna keep that, and then if we in Valorant, the way it works right now is when you veto and you pick team A or team B, you usually start on a certain side of the stage. So sometimes, and it worked out well for me, I'll pick the same veto team, so I'll be yo, I'm gonna be B again because we won on that side, and it also gives me a good advantage in the veto, so it works out. So I'll be yo, make sure we're on that side. I've been a Chet of OpTic Gaming.